I think it's like the old saying, measure twice, cut once. Reread
That's an
that.
old saying.
Yeah, like the construction, construction, measure twice, cut
I
once.
like it.
Do you know the saying?
You
No,
don't
but
know it?
it makes sense. Wow.
It's an old thing, like
Do you
measure
know
twice,
this?
cut
Oh,
once.
you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
this,
yeah.
yeah,
Classic.
Something about the way the song feels when you put it on, you can sort of just get lost in it. And the lyrics that Dylan wrote, I feel like they're more raw than some of our stuff in the past. I think you're just letting your emotions be heard.
I've seen different theories of what it could be about, and I'm like, oh, it's interesting. It's like, for me, it's so specific, and I know exactly what it is, but it's not as clear to the fans as I thought it'd be, which is cool. Like, I like that people can apply their own meaning to it. I think it just gives a lot for our fans to sink their teeth into. We don't need a repeat of the night when you called me over to your apartment. Should we get close? Should we put the lights down? It was never right, I think you know now. The first verse is definitely reflective of a night of getting called over to, an ex-person's place. Like, I'm sure we both know that never would have been a good idea. I'm sure we both feel this way now. It's been long enough. There's a lot of things that I could tell you, but some things are left better if you never knew. So I shut myself up with a nightcap. I'm not tempted, I just don't like that old wounds seem to open up with you. What am I supposed to do? I don't need to walk you through it.
I'm personally someone who could give into temptation more often than not. Like I just feel it's part of my personality, a little spontaneous. So to me, if this situation ever arose, I'm not sure. Like I feel like Dylan has a very like thoughtful mindset of like where like the boundary should be with like an ex person or something, where I feel very like, oh yeah, it's fine. Like let's meet up or whatever. And I understand that can definitely put up weird, just unnecessary like old wounds.
Speaking of. Who said I don't understand that? I probably won't remember. Time in the palm of your hand. We both let go together. Who said that I don't understand the pain of this or the emotions of going through this process? Of course I'm gonna remember this. Just because I'm not opening up in the way that you'd necessarily want me to doesn't mean that I'm not feeling the same things. I just don't need to give that to you because there has to be healthy boundaries in how we talk about this and how we communicate with each other, if at all. But I promise I get your sentiment. I wonder who's been at your apartment. Would you give in or would you relent? Who's been trying to get in your bed?
When I think about writing chorus parts, I always think about the Casey Musgrave song, High Horse, because that song, the verse is not only just so catchy as its own thing, but then every part that follows that seems to like almost one up the part before it. Like this song, like the who said I don't, kind of could be like the statement moment and then back to the verse, but then we follow it up with what we're calling the chorus.
Right.
This song, I don't think there really was an obvious chorus. Like, the song was kind of recorded, and I told the guys, I was like, I consider this part to be the chorus. I didn't know if we pictured it as the whole thing was the chorus or the...
I still don't even know what the chorus is.
Empathetic to you in your healing. Ask a friend if you still don't believe me. I've got stitches that I'm sewing up to, so it isn't fair to say I love you. Let's think before we go and hit send. I'm always one that's like gonna reread and really think before sending anything. I'll write it in my notes first. Like I don't want the speech bubble there. I'm sitting there and I'm really overthinking this.
Yeah.
I think it's like the old saying, measure twice, cut once. Reread
That's
that.
an old saying.
Yeah, like the construction, construction, measure twice, cut once.
I like it.
Do you know the saying?
No.
You don't
but
know
I-
it?
No, but it makes sense. Wow.
It's an old thing, like
Do you
measure
know
twice,
this?
cut once.
Oh, you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
this,
yeah,
yeah,
classic.
cool.
So I feel like you can apply that to the digital age and technology, where it's like, just reread it, take a second, and if you want to send it, then send it.
You're crying to me on the phone again. I think this conversation needs to end.
Remember, you're not the only one in this.
I wanna speak, but you won't even talk to me, not until you'd like to see all the things we could be and incentivize things that you internalize. I'd rather tell you a lie before predicting what I don't know could lead into false hope.
Lying can be very useful.
Woo!
I mean, yeah, because you don't want to do anything to hurt people in a situation like what the song is talking about. I feel like maybe it's not so much about like literally lying, but I think just exercising a certain level of restraint.
I like that point. Yeah, it's not necessarily lying; it's just putting a restraint on the truth a little bit, so there's no unnecessary hurt feelings for like. I know what you mean. It's actually it's good. It's good.
But I promise I get your sentiment. I wonder who's been at your apartment. Would you give in or would you relent? Who's been trying to get their signal sent? I promise I get your sentiment. I wonder who's been at your apartment. I promise I get your sentiment. I wonder who's been at your apartment. Yeah, and this whole chorus is, it's really the only real confessional moment of the song. It's like, if you really want to know, like, of course I get your fears of what I might be, of who I might be with or what might be going on. I wonder who's been over at your place too. Like, I wonder who's been trying to get at you as well. And like, of course I'm curious about this. And so, yeah, it's like the moment where it kind of drives it home. It's like, I'll give you this.
And I never even said this. I thought it'd be cool if the song was actually called Your Department, and it was about Lowe's, like working in like the garden section, working at like the cash register, and like I wonder who's been at your department. I thought that would have been really cool, but it's fine.